Welcome to the 7th chapter. We're continuing with God's case against the northern kingdom of Israel, also known as Ephraim and Samaria. It begins in the first verse, Into iasastheme ton Israel, ke apocalypthi iadhikia Ephraim, ke ikakia Samarias, oti irgasanto psevthi, ke kleptis pros avton isilthen, ek didhiskon listis inti otho avtu. We're also featuring the personal pronoun in the first person, singular and plural. In this chapter, there's not a lot of them, so we'll be featuring both. They're highlighted there in the orange color. May, in my healing, Israel. Then the injustice of Ephraim was uncovered. Apocalypthi, the apocalypse is the English derivative in that word. And the kakia, kaka, evil of Samaria. For they worked psevthi, falsehoods. Pseudo is a derivative, something false. And a thief, kleptis, kleptomaniac, derivative, entered to him, and a robber stripping him in his otho way, the cathode, the way of electricity. So Israel, in his healing, or is trying to heal, the injustice of that country was uncovered, and the evil of Samaria was uncovered. For they worked falsehoods, and the thief entered to him, and a robber stripping him in the way. So a thief entered, someone took away from this northern kingdom. Could have been the foreigners, evil people, Egypt, some Assyrians. They entered to him as a thief to steal the things. And they stripped him on his way. Reminds me of the parable of the Good Samaritan being stripped by the robbers in the way. In verse 2 it continues, Opos sinadosin os adontes ti cardia avton, passes tas kakias avton emnisti, nin akiklosin avtus ta diavulia avton, apenanti tu prosopu mu agenonto. So that they should be together in concert. Sina, though seen we have a synod, is a church council. As men singing adon tes, adon, or an ode, odium, a theater. Men singing in their cardiac arrest, and it has to do with the heart, in their heart, that I remembered all their kakias. And the emenisti, meni is mention, is a derivative. So whenever you have the mini ita, it has something to do with remembering or mentioning. Now their deliberations at Kiklosin encircled them. Kiklo, we have a cycle as a derivative. Cyclone, something that goes in a circle. They took place before my face. So they were in concert together and doing their evils, and they were remembered by God, he says. And now their deliberations have come back upon them, against them more or less. And they took place before God. Entes kakies avton ephranan vasolea, ke entis psevdesin avton archontes. In their kakies they gladdened a king. Ephrasi is the English derivative, to delight. A vasolea, king, basilica. And in their psevdesin, their lies, pseudo, derivative, rulers. So their actions were appreciated, condoned by the, or not condoned by the rulers of the country, or the king. Pontus Mikevontes os Klevanos Kaiomenos is pepsin, katakavmatos apotis flogos, apophirasios, steatos, eos tu zimothene avto oron. All Pontus committing adultery, or as an oven burning for baking, they're on fire, burning from the flogos. We have a phlox plant, the flaming plant, from mixing together of the fat until it's being leavened olon, holy, Catholic, the olic, whole, in the derivative. So they were burning as an adulterer, waiting to do his deed in adultery, and they were mixed all together. This was a condition that was completely taken over by that country. Imere ton vasileon imon irxanto iarchontes themusthe ex inu exetene tin hira avtu meta limon. In the days, imere, ephemeral, of our vasileon, imon is the personal pronoun, and the plural, genitive. The rulers, the archontes, began to be enraged from inu, vino, wine. He stretched out his hira, a chiropractor, someone who works with their hands, with pestilent ones. So the rulers were drunk or enraged as the adulterer with wine. And the king then stretched out his hands to pestilent ones, people that would do the country harm, instead of people that were going to be helpful to the people of the country. Vioti anakav thison os klevanos e cardie avton. For their hearts, the cardie, were kindled as an oven. Ento katarasin avtus olin tin nikta ipnu Ephraim enaplisti proi anakavthi os pyros flongis. In their breaking down all the night, olin, whole, nikta, nocturnal, the night. Sleep, Ephraim was filled of sleep, ipnu, hypnotic, something to do with sleep. In the morning it was kindled as a flogis of pyros, of fire, pyromaniac. Pontus ethermanthison os klevanos ke katephagon us kritas avton. Pontus e vasilis avton epison, uk in en avtis o epikalumenos prosme. Pontus, they were all heated as an oven. They devoured their kritas, critic. This is some judicial term, the judges, a critic, kritas. All Pontus, their vasilis, are fallen. There was not one among them calling to Ephraim entis leis avtu sinanamigto. Ephraim egeneto ekrifias u metastraphomenos. Ephraim, the northern kingdom, is intermixed with his lais, the laity, the peoples. So apparently they were intermarrying with the Canaanites of old, the people that were left over that were not Jews. Ephraim became as a cake baked in hot ashes, not being turned over, burnt. It was all the way through. 7:9. Ke ephagon alotri tin iskin avtu. Avtos they uk egno. Ke polie exin thesan avto. Ke avtos uk egno. And strangers ate his strength, but he did not know. And gray hairs broke out to him, and he did not know. I have the it in there. I think I'll take those out in the next addition. And so his condition, Ephraim's condition, was that the foreigners came and ate his strength, took the things from him, and left him with little. But he didn't realize it. And the gray hairs broke out to him. This happened for a long time. He grew old, and he did not know it. Verse 10, Ke tapinothisate I ivris Israel, is prosopon avtu, ke uk epestripsen pros Kyrion ton theon avton, ke uk exazitisan avton in passi tutis. And the ivris, we have Hebrews, arrogance in the derivative, and the insolence of Israel shall be humbled unto his face. So God is going to humble Israel. But they turn not towards Kyrion, ton theon avton, their God. And they sought not after him and all these things. So even with God humbling them and disciplining them, they didn't turn towards him. They ran the other way. As a child is going to be disciplined by a father would run away. He may get away, but he's not going to learn anything. Verse 11, Ke in Ephraim os peristera anus, uk echus akardian, Aegypton epakalito, ke is Assyrius, eporevthison. And Ephraim was as a mindless dove, not having Carthian, cardiac arrest again, derivative. Egypt he called upon, and unto Assyria they went. So the northern kingdom was mindless, God says, weren't thinking. So they went to their enemies, actually, people that would attack them eventually, Egypt and Assyria. So it's like when we go to seek help. If we go to seek help from a friend or a relative, that's good, and generally they have our good will and their intentions. But when you go to somebody that's an enemy, somebody that has a reason to see you fall, and that's who you go to seek help from, beware. Kathos an porevsonte epivalo epavtus to diction mu, kathos tapetina tu uranu, kataxo avtus, paidevso avtus inti akoin tes thalipsios avton. As whenever they shall go, I will put my net over them. I will put over them my net, mu. As the birds of the heaven, uranu, Uranus, the planet. I will lead them down. I will correct them in the akoi, acoustics, the hearing of their affliction. So God is going to put a net over them, and he's going to lead them down and correct them, he says. Verse 13, Ue aftis, oti apapithesan apemu, Vilaisin, oti isevisen es eme, ego the elitrosamin aftus, afti the katalalisan kat emu, psevdi. Woe, ue, it's a direct transliteration, or oi ve, the Hebrew. Woe to them, for they leaped back from me. They didn't accept this correction. Wretched are they, for they were impious against me. But I, ego, the ego is the derivative, first person, personal pronoun. But I ransomed them. He did indeed from Egypt. But they spoke ill against me with lies. So all the things that God did, not only are they going away, but they were telling others lies about their God. It's a sad place when your friends lie about you, tell other people things that aren't true. And it must have hurt God tremendously to have this people that he ransomed and did all these things for, then lie against him. Ke uk avois en pros me e cardiae afton. Al I ololixon in tes kites afton. Epicito ke ino katatemnonto. Oh, they yelled out not to me with their cardiae hearts, but only shrieked in their kites, their beds. We have the coitus as a derivative. Farcito ke ino, grain and wine. Cito, we have a parasite, something that's alongside of the grain. And ino, or vino, they mutilated themselves. He may be talking about as the Shiites over in Iran and Iraq go out in a certain holiday celebrating the death of one of the martyrs, and they beat themselves with these whips until they draw blood. This is what they maybe have been doing. Verse 15, Epaithevthison en emi, katiskisa tus vrakionas afton, ke isa me elogisanto ponira. They were corrected by me. I strengthened their arms, and against me they devised wicked things. Elogisanto, syllogism with a logi, an analysis of a formal argument. Here they devised wicked things against God. Apostrophison is uden agenonto os toxon entetamenon pesunte in Romphea. They turned unto nothing, that is, probably false gods or these idols. They became as a bow being stretched tight. And it doesn't say it here in the next column. Their kings shall fall by the broadsword. Earchontes avton, or that is their rulers, the archon. Their rulers shall fall by the broadsword. This is going to be what's going to happen to this kingdom and their rulers because of their stupidity, of their tongue, the glosses. We have glossal as an English derivative, something pertaining to the tongue, a glossary. This is their disparagement in the land of Egypt. Later they will flee to Egypt to get away from the destruction of the land. This is going to be the result in the geology as a derivative, in the land of Egypt. In the 8th chapter, God continues with his case against the northern kingdom, and we pray that you will join us, and God bless.